Sam's first beginner course got 12 signups in 11 days, and 7 of those people became members. In this video, I want to literally show you every single step, every step we took, every move we made, and you'll be watching it. I think it's important to clarify like what the actual goals are, because that's how we went about it, to understand what price we wanted to charge, how long it should be. And basically the goal is not to just make money on the front end. Like that can feel like a nice kind of tempting thing, because you're, rather than doing free trials, it's like people are actually paying you some money to get started. But the real reason that we wanted them to pay is because that actually commits people to getting started and to staying with it for a certain amount of time. So the goal really is to have a low barrier to entry, so that people are not like put off by the price. We're not trying to make the money there. Then we wanted to have a great student experience, so that as many of those people as possible become members. So we just want to like bring as many people through here as possible. So that's why I think it's important to clarify that like the price is just to get people to really commit to the time. And we want to get people into this point where they are members as soon as possible. So for example, for Sam's Academy, the average amount of time that someone stays at the moment is up to 25 months, which is the average. So, his membership's 60. So if people sign up at 60 and on average they stay for 25 months, then that's like 1,500 that you're getting from them. And as well as just the money, like think about that as like, this is the amount of time that they're gonna spend doing jiu-jitsu. As someone who runs an academy, I assume you want people to like fall in love with this art as much as you have, and you've seen how it can transform people's lives. So if they're able to go through this process and you're able to get another person who's going to commit to training and maybe will spend on average 2 years doing jiu-jitsu, then that's an amazing thing, like even beyond whatever the money is. And that's much more powerful than just doing a 4-week course, because anyone who tries to program a 4-week course, you're obviously going to realize that you can barely even scratch the surface of what there is to learn. But it's just important to realize that all of the value that you can provide, and that they're going to pay you month by month, is when they become a member. So we just want to make it as easy as possible for people to get started and give them such a great experience of jiu-jitsu that they want to become a member. I don't know if this just seems like obvious stuff, but I think it's really good to remember that when we go to the price. So for the price, we just went for £40, £40 per, well, for the whole course. And the course was 4 weeks. And this also included a month of membership. And I'm just going to put M for membership. You have to remember that. So the membership's included because we want people to not just view this as like a separate course. We want them to integrate into the academy. So having this membership included meant that, Sam could speak to the students at the end of the first class and say like, hey, if you want to join in, then go for it. You can go to any of these other classes, do the other foundation classes to learn more. And with the membership, this membership, which is £60, it's like, for the price of the course, which is a reasonable price for like, 4 hours of tuition, with that price, they are also getting something that's worth £60. So it just makes it a lot easier to sell because it's like a very clearly they're getting loads of extra value with that bonus. So let's go now into the promotion side of things. I'll show you the graphics we've made. So in terms of creating them, I used something called Figma, but you can use like the free version of Canva or something like that. The most important thing is just to let people know that you have a beginner course. So here's the first image that we did, and this I would now with the newer one has less text on. I think it's a bit better, but basically it's just letting people know the details. Here's how we described it, just our first course, a few of the benefits, which is, starting with other beginners, learning the fundamentals, the when it starts, and just another little summary about it and giving them a call to action so they know where to register. And there's two really powerful like marketing concepts which are often abused, but within a beginner course, they're actually perfectly natural. And those are scarcity and urgency. So scarcity is what we have here, where when we got down to 4 spots left, we sent this post out, only 4 spots left. And there's a lot of people who are like following pages of jiu-jitsu academies, and they've been meaning to start for ages. They kind of put it off, or maybe they did one free trial and then some other stuff came up and they didn't sign up. So this can sometimes really be like the kick in the ass that someone needs to like actually get started, having this scarcity, because with a free trial, they can be super flaky, because people know they can kind of just start whenever. So having that scarcity is important. But also we've got, here's one. So this is the current course that we're running, which is about to launch. So you can also have urgency, and that's about the amount of time that's left. So you can have like 1 or 2 days left, and you can just sell that so people realize like, okay, I need to take action now. And that's one of the real benefits of the beginner course, is that there were quite a few people who had, like maybe they'd come to a class before and hadn't quite like fit in. It felt like a bit just they were thrown into the deep end, or people who've been putting it off for ages. A lot of those people will actually sign up. Someone who has been putting off doing a free trial might just happily give you 40 quid and commit to the month. The attendance was so good. There was only like, of all the people from what I remember, or actually from what Sam was saying when we did a little interview about what he'd learned from this process, and he said that there was only, I believe, 2 people who missed sessions, and I think they both only missed 1 session as far as I know. But yeah, the attendance was insanely good, and that's because people had put in money, they'd committed. There was like that social contract of being there with the other people, and that you're all like doing this course together. So I'm just showing you on Facebook. The only difference here is that you can add links on Facebook. So you can just link straight to the page, whereas on Instagram, you can't add links that are clickable. So you can just tell them to click the link in your bio and put it in there. So let's take a look now, while that's loading down here. So we're talking about sharing it. So we've done it in Instagram, posted in Facebook, also in like WhatsApp groups, like posting the same image in a WhatsApp group and just asking people to share. Another thing that we didn't do, obviously, well, actually we did a bit for the first one, but especially for later courses is good, is anyone who was interested in the course before, but didn't actually sign up. Maybe times were not great. They didn't have the they didn't have the funds, or they didn't have the time. So if you've got those contacts stored, you can just blast out a message or give them all a call and just let them know like, hey, we're running another beginner course, or if it's people who signed up for a free trial and didn't start. I think I got 1 or 2 people that I called, who had kind of expressed interest before but hadn't actually got started. So it's a really good way to like get those people who've kind of been hovering around to directly contact them as well. So now let's go into the website side of things. So here, actually, we'll go to the home page. So on the home page, you can see we've got the beginner course listed here. So you've just got like a little countdown, and this is so that all of the people who would regularly find you and maybe book in a free trial through your website, now they're more likely to see the beginner course and be interested in checking that out as well. So on the beginner course page, we've just got a few bits to kind of show people the benefits of running a beginner course. One of the things that we really tried to push was to get the course sold out. So I would recommend choosing like a relatively small number for your first course at least, just so that you have the bragging rights of saying that it's sold out. So choose what you think is like, the lowest number that you could be happy with and set that. It's much better for it to sell out because that will help with future promotions as well. And yeah, this is actually the image from the previous beginner course where we had 12 people. I think there were two other people who signed up after the deadline. They kind of ended up coming in. And then I believe like the people down here were blue belts or like more experienced people from the academy who just decided to help out. So yeah, when obviously having like some reviews and things like that, we've got the pricing here, so a breakdown of all the things they get, so they can see the 1 month membership and the dates, and then just I just added like some frequently asked questions so that people know everything in order to get started, and another call to action to get them to join. So when we click on enroll here, because Sam uses a service called Go Team Up or Team Up, and this is just for how he manages members, takes all the payments and stuff through here. I would like, if he wasn't using this, then I would take the payments directly through the website, and I think that would anyway, that's the way I would do it and make some of the automations easier. But we're just linking it out to here so they can register for the group with Team Up. One cool little trick that I've added, which it's not like a make or break, obviously, but it's a little way that you might add, an extra, one person, hopefully. And even if it does that, that's like could be an extra 1,500 over the course of that lifetime student. So these little things do definitely add up. And that is when you go back, it's now going to have this little pop-up thing, which just says interested. So if someone is kind of on the fence, so maybe they were curious about starting, but for some reason they didn't fill that out. When they come back to here, they're kind of prompted to fill in the details. And it's not in like a pushy way of like popping up straight away, but it's at the right time when they might be wanting some more information, and we don't want them to just close the tab and forget about it. So hopefully here they can just pop in their details, say hello, and we get a little confirmation message here. This is another little thing that I think is really good to do on forms that loads of people miss out on, is once someone's like filled out a form, that's like the end of a task, like an end of something they've been doing. And usually that's a time when they're going to switch to another task. Maybe they'll just go onto Instagram, they'll check their email, they'll go out to do something else. It's a really cool thing to actually just take advantage of that fact, and use that to get people to follow on Instagram or Facebook, because it's like they're in this zone where they're ready to do something, they're ready for the next thing. And if you just very clearly give them the next thing, which check out their Instagram or Facebook while you wait or share with friends, it's like, okay, you might be like, oh yeah, you know what, let me text my mate and say they should join in the course, or I'm just going to go to their Instagram or Facebook and just browse that. Bit of a side tangent, but I think this is like a really valuable thing that you can do to maximize the the kind of nurturing of those leads. You know, if someone reaches out, you can actually get them into your Instagram and they can start following you, even if they maybe don't reply. They might end up signing up for a beginner course later or something like that because they're becoming more aware of you and more comfortable with you because they've followed you. Let's now take a look at how we convert these leads and we manage the automation. We're going to go over to Go High Level, which is the software that I use for my business and I use for my clients as well. Now let's take a look at an automation. Again, this is just stuff that's going to save you some time and make sure that things are done very consistently. They're things you can all do this manually, obviously, but it's just going to help you out, make things a bit easier. So when someone fills out the form, it automatically triggers this, which will create a contact in the in High Level, and it adds them to a particular pipeline for the beginner course. Then what it does is it's just going to wait 2 minutes, and after 2 minutes, it's going to send this text. So it's going to say, "Hey, contact first name." So that will automatically put in the name that someone put in that contact field. It's Sam from Smoothflo Martial Arts Academy. How can I help? We've just got to add this for text compliance to make sure that as it's like a marketing message that people can very easily opt out if they don't want to. So this is something that like legally you're required to put in. You're probably fine if you don't, but just to cover all the bases, we add this to make it super clear. So now you actually see, it'd be embarrassing if this doesn't work. There we go. So we've got, I think hopefully you can see there. You can see these are from all of the times that I've been testing stuff on here. Then we just have a little bit of follow-up, and this is rather than doing it manually. So in 24 hours, it will just ask them like still interested in the beginner jiu-jitsu course. And these things like the follow-up to try and remember to do this for all these different people and do it like a day later and stuff is it's just annoying. It's much easier to have it on autopilot. And then it waits another 24 hours and just says, where is it? Let me know if these are bothering you and you'd like me to stop messaging. So again, it's up to you how persistent you want to be. I mean, you could add, extra text. You can add messages and emails and stuff like that. You can even add a reminder to give them a call on a certain day or like a certain amount of days after they signed up. But for now, that's what we've got. That's like a good amount of follow-up without being super pushy. Anyway, yeah, that's the automation. You can do it manually if you want, but it's a good way just to send out those follow-up. So boom, we've got the follow-up done as well. Now we're on to the last steps. So the last step is to integrate them into your community as much as possible. This is something that Sam talks about with getting, timing things. So he's got another class just finishing. So the people from the open mat ended up helping out with the beginner course, which was great. And also to retain them, he did a 50% off for their first month. So that's a thing. We're going to make it clear for this second course. Well, we're thinking about the best ways. When we kind of discussed this a little bit in our episode where I speak with Sam about how things have gone from his end, in terms of programming the course and everything. So yeah, we did a 50% off just to get people started because we wanted to get people in. That's something we might change. We might try doing it straight off at full price. I think there's definitely different ways to run this beginner course, but the important thing is like the overall structure, and we can kind of try and tweak different things. So this is the retain stage, and next is kind of exceeding those expectations, just making sure everyone on the course has a great time. They feel comfortable, they feel part of the academy, and they want to get signed up. And if you want to learn about that, then it's best that you just check out the interview that I did with Sam, where we get into all of that stuff. And I also did one with John from Horizon BJJ, who's run 6 different beginner courses. So watch one of those now and let me know if you've got any questions.